live.
We
I'm
live.
live.
Yeah, we
Oh,
live.
that
Or
was
Flint. Oop. Just need to pop up on here so I can share and share and share. There we are.
There we go.
well. See, he can do all the intros today, while I can keep sharing real quick.
All right.
It's coffee time, everybody.
time.
Grab your coffee. This is the 12 o'clock news. Trevor.
Mhm. I had to hit my coffee real quick.
Trevor's show today.
Yeah. It's good to be back, and thank you for the warm up last night.
Yeah, I figured you needed that warm up and everything to get back on track
Yeah.
and
Get my head straight
get
for
your
doing
head
this.
straight. That's why I gave you the warm up last
See?
night.
Always a good friend looking out for me.
Absolutely.
And we're about to drive Mickey nuts today.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be my favorite time of the day.
I know at some point there might be a book flying across at us. That's okay.
That's okay. I got Affleck.
I don't. You're a crippled old vet.
You can still sue him. I got Affleck. He hit us, we suing him. That's all I can tell you.
All right.
Trevor, what is the name of your show? Did we ever come up with a name?
Small talk.
Truth Talk.
Small talk.
Why you gonna say small?
Right.
Because I'm a little guy.
A little guy.
Hey, I'm only 5'10", 130 pounds.
Hey,
But I'm
that's
130
okay.
pounds of awesome.
Hey, they better not try you. That's all I can tell you. No, don't try him. Don't think because he's a small guy that you're gonna get by, because it ain't gonna work. No.
It ain't gonna fly.
Ain't gonna fly.
So, all right. We're gonna go over some of the elections without getting Mr. Mickey into trouble with Facebook, because they'll slam him in Facebook jail so fast.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. You don't want that. We don't want that.
Right.
I mean, he's still got the YouTube platform.
Right.
But, so yeah, today's conversations is going to be all about that, as well as more on the Chief Barton dismissal.
Did you see?
Daily
quick,
Beast?
No. Did you see his interview this morning with Arthur Woodson?
Oh,
Oh my God! Look, y'all, out in Facebook land. Please, I implore you to go to Arthur Woodson's page and look at that interview that he had with Chief Barton this morning, like about an hour or so ago.
Okay, that's why I didn't see it.
Damn good interview.
I was running around getting this stuff set up.
Damn good interview. Okay, go ahead, Trey.
All right, so last night we said we're going to go over the props. Prop 1, 2, and 3.
Yep, we did.
Because there were some problems there that really get me. Right? Because, you know, Mr. Terrence says, stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe.
Right.
Some of this was banana in the tailpipe. Some of this was just straight snake oil.
Snake oil.
Yeah. Because you know what? Okay. They tell you it's a cure for everything, but then when you end up dead in 2 weeks because you decided to drink some rattlesnake venom.
I ain't never heard nobody drink some rattlesnake venom.
Man, that's some old West tales right there. Get your snake oil.
That must have been some old army stuff. Marines, whatever.
I heard that before. God, I don't remember it though. I grew up like 30 minutes south of Tombstone, where Wyatt Earp did his thing, got famous.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I've seen Boo Hill so many times. Okay. So, Prop 1, they build it as reducing term limits.
Okay.
You know, they always said it's reducing the term limits. They won't be in office as long.
Now, you sure that was, because I'm just asking you questions, right? Because this is our show.
Yeah.
Reducing term limits, because I got remember that email we got, Mickey, who said that they was extending the term limits.
That's what it turned out to be.
So they tricked us. So you mean to tell me your state rep going to be in there for 10 years now?
Can be there for up to 12. That's 6 terms. Dang. When previously it was 3. And it isn't just your state rep. It's also your state senators. And you can mix and match. So right here, Prop 1, simple language. Replace current term limits for state representatives and state senators with a 12-year total limit in any combination between the House and the Senate, except a person elected to the Senate in 2022 may be elected the number of times allowed when that person became a candidate. So from this point onward, this election onward, they can be in there for 12 years.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Now, all I can say is I do not like this,
I do not like this either.
but I'm glad it came out now instead of when a certain someone that happens to be in City Hall right now first started running. Because then he'd just get more years off of our taxes.
But hey, Miss Brenda Boy, thank you for watching. Hey, big sister. Hey, First Lady, Chris Caleb. Hey, Shardy. I'm just trying to give a little shout out.
Yeah.
But look, now let me ask you this. So you mean to tell me Prop 1 said reducing term limits, but it actually extended the term
Yep.
limits?
Yes.
And so you mean to tell me that someone who could only because Neely had to come back
hmm
because he was term limited out.
Yes, he was termed out.
So that's why the wife ran.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is her second term, but this counts as her second term.
This counts as her second term.
But she got 6 more to go if she were to win.
Yeah, because right here,
So you mean to
except
tell
a
me y'all
person
can be in
elected.
silence for years? I'm
Years.
just saying silence because
She don't vote, she don't speak. I mean, for years, unless because there's been some drama in her personal life, she may decide to abdicate because politics ain't her thing. And you know what? I would respect the hell out of her if she just says, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm not able to do my job. Steps away and leaves it to someone else. I could respect that.
Miss Brenda Boyd said we were supposed to be talking about this before the election.
Yes, we were. But
And-
Miss Boyd, I have to say, number one, before the election, it could have gotten Mickey into a lot of trouble because Facebook really hates when folks talk about elections and they don't register to talk about an election.
Mhm.
Number two, me being a Republican, I figured a lot of people just wouldn't listen to me, thinking that I'm on some stuff. You know what I mean?
And you know what? Quit defining yourself as a Republican.
Yeah, no, I'm
Because
somewhere else.
I'm gonna quit defining myself as a Democrat. I'm
Yeah.
for what's right and what's best.
Yeah, I think the big thing is there are only two parties, and people get caught up in those terms, but most people have a mind of their own.
Mhm.
Just because a person with a letter in front of their name says something doesn't mean that we all agree with it.
Mhm.
So,
That's true.
number one, that was Prop 1, and that's what I don't like about it, because it was billed as, hey, we're reducing term limits, and it actually extended them. Bit in the tailpipe.
We fell for them. They playing chess, not checkers.
Now, Prop 2 has a lot of good stuff that I did like. So, recognize the fundamental right to vote without harassing conduct. I wish this was in place, before certain people got arrested on election day.
You said who got arrested on election?
That poll worker that got hammered and started yelling at people to vote the way he wanted them to vote. And then just before that, there was a certain candidate walking around harassing people to make sure they vote for him.
Now you talking about that poll worker that was up there at Haskell that they said got arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Now when I was driving around, that said poll worker that got arrested, me and Sister Audrey Muhammad was having a conversation along with another lady, can't remember her name, and he came up because he wanted somebody to take him to the store. He been drunk all day, but his badge he had around his neck. He had another little clip. It said Neely worker. So he was working for Neely. That was Neely's campaign people. It wasn't, so they left that little part out.
Yeah. So, Prop 2 would have been nice to have a few years ago, at least in that term.
Mm-hmm.
No harassing conduct. Require military or overseas ballots to be counted if postmarked by election day? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? When I was in Afghanistan, it'd take 3-4 months for my mail to get home.
Mm-hmm.
And votes shouldn't be discounted just because of that.
Right.
Provide voter right to identify or verify identity with photo ID or signed statement. That's already a thing that's happening. You can just sign the affidavit of identity.
Right.
Provide.
But that voter rights and sign the affidavit,
Mhm.
that goes back to them absentee ballots.
No, that's go up, walk in day of. Oh, I forgot my voter ID. Well, fill out this affidavit of who you are.
Oh, okay. That was the one that they mixed up and just was putting names down. Okay.
No,
keep
no,
going.
that's something entirely different, and we'll get onto that
Okay,
later.
I'm just waiting to get to the fire chief part.
Oh yeah.
That's all I want to talk about.
Provide voter right to single application to vote absentee in all elections. I'm not a big fan of absentee voting, and the only reason I say this is, folks, ladies and gentlemen, take $500, get $500 in cash, put it in an envelope, seal it, and mail it to yourself. Do you trust it to get back to you? Then why do you trust your vote like that? Now, if you are infirmed or you are out of state, yes, please do use an absentee ballot. But if you are able to get up and get moving, then I would prefer you vote in person, because trusting so many votes to the mail, like I said, I wouldn't trust $500 in the mail to myself. I wouldn't trust mailing myself $2.
But I want to know what happened to all of the ballots that were returned to sender. That's all I want to know.
I mean, so many of those went out to homes that no longer exist anymore, and yet somehow we got 88% turned in, completed.
That was amazing. I'm just saying.
We're going to try not to get Mr. Mickey in trouble, but that is a miracle. I don't even think God, actually, no, that's an act of Congress, because I don't even think God could have done that one.
That's
Right.
true. I believe.
Require state-funded absentee ballot drop boxes. Okay, so you're out and about, you won't be able to make it election day. Here's a drop box and postage, so you don't have to pay to vote, because that's reminiscent in a way of poll taxes to me. If you have to pay to vote, even if it's just the postage stamp. I mean, who keeps postage stamps anymore? Who uses snail mail anymore? When was the last time you sent a letter, Mr. Mickey? Ms. Wyntis? Wait, no, that could be part of your job. You do a lot of paperwork.
I do a lot of paperwork. We
Yeah,
send
so-
out certified mail all the time.
Okay, so in your
But
personal life,
it was never.
No.
But I've had a physician come back and he told me, and we're just talking about inter-office mail throughout the institution.
Yeah.
He said it's quicker to get something. He sent a letter and he timed it. This doctor does studies. He sent something by mail here in Flint,
Mhm.
and he sent a letter to his cousin in London. And it reached London before it got to his cousin here in the area.
odd. Provide that, this is the part I absolutely hate about this. Provide that only election officials may conduct post-election audits. So let's take, for instance, in a hypothetical, our Secretary of State is our highest election official in Michigan.
Mhm.
That is also an elected position.
Right.
So say our Secretary of State sitting loses the election.
Mhm.
That Secretary of State can then call for an audit if they don't like it. Or if they win and their opponent doesn't like it, that opponent has no real way of calling for an audit except for asking the incumbent to do it for them, which I'm not going to.
Right.
Who's going to work against themselves?
Never mind.
I mean, purposefully work against themselves.
What's surprised?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's not talk about Flint and our city council, okay?
All right. Okay. Let's keep going because I'm ready to get to
All
fire.
right. Require 9 days of in-person voting. That's good, because one day, especially with our busy lifestyles today, it doesn't give hours. I'm hoping for 12 to 13 hours of just drive in, get your thing done and go. Then there's no long wait lines. Allow donations to fund elections, which must be disclosed. No, I think the state should fund the election, period, end of story. Why does it? Because when you put your own personal money in there, someone may feel some sort of way.
They get it back.
And get it back. Yeah, exactly. They'll get it back.
They get it back. They hold fundraisers after the election to get their money back. Not just talking, seen it.
And this one is another thing I absolutely really do like. Require canvass boards to certify election, or maybe. Oh no, I do not like this one. Require canvass boards to certify election results based only on the official records of votes cast.
Well, that's what they've been down there doing all week. Are they down there today doing that too?
I do not know, but they're not certifying the election based only on the official records. They're actually looking through the official records, making sure that they're straight. This would say, I've got the record, it says this many votes. I've got the ballots, it says this many ballots. Okay, good to go. Instead of going through it like they have been.
Oh, so they just want to do something real easy.
Yeah,
Okay, all
easy
right,
sleazy.
and push it on through. Because I don't believe, I'm not, I don't know any of the canvassers except for Sharon,
Mhm.
and like I say, I just know her personal. I don't know anything about her life per se.
Okay.
What I know, I like about her.
Yeah.
That's the only person I know on the canvassing board. But she's still doing the job.
Mhm.
The other ones I don't know anything about. Sharon been calling out a lot of stuff though.
Yeah.
And I personally, my humble opinion, I don't think that they would have went through those ballots unless it was people down there applying the pressure. Shout out to Michael Dome,
Mhm.
you, Arthur Woodson, AC Dumas for going down there and keeping the pressure on.
Those three are amazing. I only showed up and I hung out for about an hour. I was just seeing if they needed anything, and then I hung out, had a smoke with Art, and then I left. I didn't do much of nothing. I was just there, and I was watching a room full of like 9 people and only 6 of them working. But that's government in general.
Right.
So props 1 and 2 are no goes thus far. Prop 3. How did you vote on prop 3? If you don't mind.
If you don't mind, I would rather not say
Okay, I voted no on it.
because my kids made me mad, and I feel like every woman should have a choice.
All right, so a lot of people voted yes on Prop 3 because of abortion rights. And I can understand that. That is a very important issue to some people. I've made my feelings on it known. Here's the parts that get me. Establish new individual right to reproductive freedom, not for adults, not for women, individual. What that exactly right there does is it cuts parents out of the conversation with doctors.
Right. So that means that my 12-year-old son can decide that he wants to be a woman and he can go and get him some hormone pills to grow breasts without my consent.
Without your consent.
We talked about this because, I mean, this is medical issues that are going to be coming up.
And you are not just the mother, you are the guardian. Think of
Right.
what the word guardian means. You are responsible for your children's health and well being.
Mhm.
These are discussions that you as a parent need to be involved in.
Right. But they're taking away the
They
parents'
just
rights.
took that away from you.
Yeah.
And I don't mind trans people getting what they need.
Mhm.
And if you're over 18,
Go for it.
it is
That's
no one
totally
else's
left up to you.
business but
That's
your
right.
own.
Right.
So, and then we've got the other issue. Abortion is, if my youngest child were to get pregnant, go to the doctor, get an abortion, I'm they don't have to report to me. I want to know who got my kid pregnant. If it was someone like, say, an older person, those questions aren't even asked.
Well, then they
And
slipped
then
that in there too, didn't us?
because that goes into the confidentiality, and parents aren't involved in that talk.
Well, I was talking to shout out to Robert, my homeboy Robert from work,
Mr.
and
Robert,
Mr. Robert, and so he was telling me also that it gave pedophiles a little leeway in there too.
because
that
the
proposal.
child doesn't have to say how they got pregnant, who they got pregnant by. The doctor's not going to ask. And us as a parent, we may not even know that this has happened now. So we can't talk to our kid, hey, how this happened? How who are you involved with?
Yeah, but if you're 40 years old and you've been having relations with my 13-year-old daughter, as long as she said
Now there's anonymity for him.
she consented to it, that man is free of charge,
Yep.
according to the law.
And he's got
Don't
anonymity.
try me.
It is terrifying to me. And then we've got something here from the National Women's Law Center.
Mm-hmm.
Trans youth often needs access to gender affirming care to make their own medical decisions about their bodies and futures, including reproductive futures. And then gender affirming care encompasses a range of social, psychological, behavioral, and medical care designed to support and affirm a person's or individual gender and identity. For trans youth, this includes treatment like hormone therapy or culturally and medically competent counseling. So there's another issue on the back end of that. We as the parents are now cut out of the conversation and say you don't have insurance. Now your child has made a financial call that impacts us. Or say you do have insurance, but this is considered an elective procedure,
Right.
and they're not going to cover it.
Right.
We as parents could be on the hook for thousands of dollars or tens of thousands, depending on surgery, hormones, therapy, all this, and we can't say no.
Right. And then also, what that law it pushed some, all of this stuff is into this law. And the reason why I know so much about this again because I'm in the medical field.
Mhm.
It stripped away. It just threw out all the other laws.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have these pop-up abortion clinics all over the place because it's basically telling you that you can't be held liable. It's no more laws on the books that if you puncture somebody while you're giving them an abortion,
Yep.
you off the hook. So you're gonna have go in the back door of 7-Eleven and get you an abortion and a beer on the way out the front. I'm just saying.
I mean, I've said before, I'm not against abortions. I think that there should be some uh, restrictions, say up to a certain point, protect the baby, but you should also always consider the baby's health and the mother's health,
Right.
no matter what point. This is so much extra to that.
Yeah.
And it's more BS than actual things that people were intending to vote for. This is snake oil and banana in the tailpipe.
Yep. You hear that? Shout out to John on Snow Banana in the tailpipe at Manchester, not
Right.
checkers. Oh, what's that? What's the second page about?
Oh man, let me see. Oh, we got Dan and Nessel is reelected. You know, the woman who kills Ricos, the woman who decides.
You can't kill Rico. Rico like Uncle Sam. They don't go away.
Oh, they do when Nessel's involved. She fired every individual prosecutor, special prosecutor that was setting it up.
She
It's
dropped
gone.
all them Rico charges.
Yeah.
And then on election day, I know you was in Arizona,
Mhm.
but they slipped it in right under the news where Rick Snyder he got off on him and his crew. I can't remember who all his crew was.
Mhm.
They do not have to testify in the water crisis trial. Well, what the hell we having a trial for?
Oh no.
They don't have to say nothing. They got they
But-
plead the fifth. They said they can plead the fifth. They don't have to say a damn thing.
And everyone's been yelling justice for Flint, justice for Flint. But if you voted for Dan
Shout
and
out to
Nessel,
Councilwoman Tanya Burns. Thank you for watching us. We feel appreciated.
but if you voted for Nessel, you're not going to get that justice. This woman has dropped the ball so many times, either on purpose or by accident. There is no justice coming for us anymore. These men are not going to be prosecuted. We are not going to see any sort of jail time or even a financial slap on the wrist to these men anymore. The statute of limitations is just about up, and she sat on her thumbs the entire time.
Well, that was the plan.
That was the
I
plan.
mean, if
And
you
then we
look
reelected her. I mean, I didn't even like her opponent. He's got the personality of a cactus. On a personal level, I do not like this man, but I still think he would have been a better choice than her.
Well, you know what? They put people up as fronts. If you go up there and you look around Lansing, and people have asked me, well, how come it wasn't a lot of push for Tudor? I said, well, hell, the same people you got back in Tudor, they back in Gretchen, so you might as well just keep her in there.
And then you look at Tudor. I mean, if you are going to go, oh, purist, it was just Republican, Democrat, don't look at the backing. Tudor got outspent 28-1.
Yeah. They talked
She
about
didn't
that.
have the money
Tudor
for a
went
yard
in-
sign.
Tudor went in on her own Republican Party
Mhm.
because they sent a letter out kind of saying, well, maybe we shouldn't attach ourselves to Trump. And
I mean,
he just came out for 3 weeks before to endorse Tudor. And, you know, they're kind of like, we should pull
I'm going to have
ourselves
to
away.
agree with what they said because Trump is.
Well, he said he's running for president again. He about to
Yeah,
make America
you know what?
great
He's
again.
not getting my primary vote. I'm sorry, the man's attacking his own party and dividing it. What the hell are you doing?
I mean, who else? You got him. And then you got Biden. But anyway.
Yeah, let's not go into that.
Can we? What? How far down we go before we
One
get to
more
the chief?
thing.
Okay.
We got
okay.
Gremlin.
Oh, Gretchen.
Yes. So, one thing that's really getting me about her, and there are two things that are positive.
What?
She wants to do tax cuts as long as she does it right, so regular folk get that tax cut. I'm cool with it, especially that retirement tax. She's trying to do away with it. Okay, I like that. Our old folks shouldn't be paying an arm and a leg when they've already given 40, 50 years of their life to a job.
What they be dead by the time that tax cut go through.
Yeah, but there's another generation coming up. So that's
They ain't gonna have no Social Security because I know young folks working for keeping them.
so there's that. Next, we've got the repeal right to work, which is the dumbest name law I've ever heard. Oh, it's a right to work state. You want to know what that law translates to? Your boss can fire you without cause.
Yeah.
Some right to work that BS is.
Right to work state. Your boss can fire you without cause.
Hell, I could disagree with my boss. Well, if I had one, with my boss about football. Oh, you're a Cowboys fan. Get out of here. And it's legal.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with my job.
Or you can disagree with them and say that your report is right and you stand by it.
And
You
fine.
see, I'm trying to get him into that cheat.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what just happened to him.
Yeah.
And even with whistleblower protections, right to work.
Now, do you think that Chief Barton's little case? I mean, this is just me and you talking. We having a Trevor and Wyntis conversation. This is not anything that can be put on anybody else. It's just me and you, like we would talk on the phone.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that his case would qualify for a whistleblower case?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, number one, he said, "I want to fire these guys." Well, let's get just through the two more things with Gremlin, and then we can jump into Chief
Two
Barton.
more things with the Gremlin. Okay.
We got more banana in the tailpipe with red flag laws. That's already a federal law. Why do we need one on the books for Michigan?
What's the red flag law?
Extreme protection. So your neighbor acts crazy, talks to himself, whatever, and you notice he has a firearm. You can call the cops. They will remove his firearms until he can prove he is competent and not a danger to himself or others.
A lie you tell.
I mean,
ain't nobody coming to get my firearm. How I'm gonna
that's a
prove
law.
I'm not crazy?
Oh, yeah, it's the exact opposite of due process. You have to have proof that you're not crazy, not the state has to have proof that you are.
Oh.
Yeah. But those are already on law at a federal level, or a law at federal level. Why do we need them in Michigan? And then next, she wants to go and play with magazine limits. They're already here. How many rounds you can have in a mag? There's so many 30 rounders or more already in the state of Michigan because it's been read for so long. This means absolutely nothing.
So she think people are supposed to go turn them back in and do
She hasn't said that. She might just ban the sale and grandfather everything else in. But it doesn't matter.
No, her ass got scared when they showed up there on that Capitol with all of them rounds and stuff. And she want to make all of these laws. Because if you notice, every time they showed up at the Capitol, she opened up some more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a minute. Open the bars back up. Open the computers loud.
Yeah.
Open the legs back up because I don't want them coming for me.
Yeah. You know, our founding fathers, as flawed of men as they were, they did have some decent ideas. They gave us two things to keep the government in check. The first, as everyone knows, is the Second Amendment. But the biggest one is the First Amendment. Those two working in conjunction, as we saw with Gremlin Whitmer there. She was afraid of verbal backlash and she was afraid of seeming too much like a tyrant to where there would be some provocation. So she started opening things up. Mm-hmm. Those two protections got us back a lot of our freedoms and rights that she was trying to strip or that she had stripped with her emergency powers.
But see, you know what? On the flip side of that, they act the fool. I'm not going to say they. People act the fool when they was locked down in Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And saying that you violating the freedom of speeches and you violating all of our constitutional rights because you locking us down. But when we have back to the bricks here, right here in Flint, and they put curfews on the younger generation, don't nobody say anything about those rights being violated.
No, because most people think that your constitutional rights only kick in when you're 18, which is bull. As a child, you have the right of free speech. As a child, you have the right of due process. You have the Quartering Act doesn't really apply to you because you don't own a home.
Yeah, but none of those rules apply in my home. No free speech or none of that.
Yeah. But out in public.
Out in public, that don't apply to
or due process.
They're going to get due process.
You know, police show up, they can't just take you and huck you away.
Right.
They have to have probable cause. These still apply to minors.
Mhm.
So when they put in curfews and something like that, oh, if you're under 18, no, they have the same rights that you and I do. But people want to get lost in the weeds and think that rights only apply to certain groups of people.
Right.
All right, so now Chief Barton.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
We do have something that Mr. Mickey shared last night from the Daily Beast.
I didn't see that last night. Mr. Mickey, can you play it on the screen for the people?
No, it's just a report.
It's a report.
It was just a report.
And I stole the biggest thing here. So
you got it. You read it all. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so excited. Okay, go ahead.
so Chief Barton's replacement, Chief Wiggins.
Wait a minute. That man with that curly.
Yeah.
That man
Yeah,
has been
with
a
the
firefighter for 57 years. Now he's so out of touch with now. I'm just saying. Now I've had an ex-Flint firefighter reach out to me this morning. I ain't lying. I'm gonna show you because I don't want you to think I'm lying.
I never think you're lying.
Well, you know some people do.
Okay.
I just gotta
I
find
think
it.
you're lying.
You always think I'm lying about stuff. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Yeah, this
maybe I
man's
can't
so old,
find
he's
it.
asking for the bucket when they're supposed to be pulling hoses through the fire. But while you're looking for that,
Oh, my goodness.
this man, and this is a nice, decent quote here, he was often spotlighted in controversy.
Look, here it go. Here it go. This is an ex-Flint firefighter. The new Chief Wiggins hasn't worked in the force and I guess he was trying to say
Fire.
field service for 20 years. He's so removed.
And he was, yeah. So, and this goes with it, right? That include spotlighted by controversy. That includes a $151,200 fine, the largest the state of Michigan has ever fined a fire department. The man is a record setter.
Ooh.
Chief Wiggins. Back in 2001, he had over 90 safety violations. And we put this man back in charge of our fire department.
So is this the same one? Because somebody filed.
This is Mr. Devious Mustache.
Yeah, but who filed that? Oh shit! Now Trevor, shoot! Look at this. Now who that say?
Court of Appeals, City of Flint and Huron Wiggins,
November 25th.
2003. I think this might just be appealing the ruling here because you know how courts work slow.
It says plaintiff, a Caucasian battalion chief in the City of Flint Fire Department filed suit against the City of Flint and Fire Chief Trevor Wyntis after Wiggins promoted two purportedly less qualified African Americans to the position of assistant fire chief over plaintiff. Plaintiff claimed that it's civil rights. So we already coming back in. I won't read the plaintiff's name, but it's out there if you guys want to look at it. The circuit court's case number 238342, City of Flint and Third. That's his name, Trevor Wiggins.
Yep.
So he already coming back in with baggage.
I mean, if the department wasn't already split.
Oh, and shout out to him because he just joined Flint Politics Reboot too.
Hey, buddy. Anyway, the department's already split over the two firefighters and the young men that had died. And now we're bringing this guy in, and he's just going to wrench a crowbar in there.
No, he only there for a minute. He only there for a minute.
It only takes a minute to throw a crowbar in.
That's true. But
throw
he
a
only
monkey
there
wrench
for
in
a
the
minute
works.
until they gonna bring somebody in here that we ain't never seen before. And I said it. Trevor, said it. Damn it, I said it. They was setting Barton up for the failure when they had that employee, that firefighter out there giving interviews. You don't do that.
No.
They were setting Barton up for the failure then. And Barton said it with his own mouth this morning. The mayor told him either you gonna retire, resign, or I'm gonna fire you. And he was like, he ain't did nothing wrong.
No, the man
had tears in his eyes. I was pissed watching that. I was crying and pissed at the same time.
The man had integrity. He wanted a working fire force to do what it's supposed to do, to go and save people and protect people. And instead, what we got is when he found someone lacking, he tried firing him, he was overridden, and he made it known that this was not his call. And then because he made it known it was not his call, he gets the boot.
That's a damn shame. Now, where's our city council on this? They asked for an
All I
investigation.
hear is crickets. I think they asked for an investigation just to placate us as the citizens of Flint. And then when it actually came time for that hearing, well, you saw
They
who
didn't
was
show
there.
up. Three people.
Three.
Three people. They didn't show up. And then Quincy said in the last councilman meeting that he didn't. What did he say, Mickey? He didn't want to come because it was right before the election.
Yeah, he didn't want it to get
Ain't that
political.
what Quincy said? That's what he
Well,
said.
as you and I both know, it's past election season. Let's get to it, Mr. Murphy. And while you're at it, let's get to the bid rigging that you said you would start to investigate after the election. I'm sorry, I still want to know who was trying to steal my damn tax dollars.
Oh, that's gone. That's gone.
No, it doesn't need to be gone. They need to pull their heads out of the sand. And that's me putting it nicely.
They jockeying for positions now, for finance chair and governmental
I
office.
can care less.
That we and you could, but they jockeying for positions right now. This is what goes on behind the back scenes. This is what I'm trying to educate the people about. This is why I'm on here week after week, because it's a whole nother show besides what they see on TV.
Oh yeah. And then it's funny that they're jockeying for all these positions. We know three of them aren't going to get a position at all. And it is a constant 3v, 3 versus 4 or 5.
3 versus
9,
6.
12.
Well, 7 if you count the attorney.
Yeah, I mean 3 versus. But remember when I texted you during the last city council meeting and I said, "Did you hear what RL said?"
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
Because I thought instantly that's a way for the city to make money. Take it to the parking lot. You know what? We need a city council fight club. And you pay for tickets to watch, and then
the city council fight
and then the city can take bets on the side. Look, as many issues as our city council has, I mean, it has more issues than Time Magazine. Let them set it out with a couple broken noses. Eventually, they're going to start acting more hospitable to each other, and we can finally get on with the business of the city instead of these petty power struggles.
That's all it is who wants to sound the most, put the best word salads together.
Yes.
And I want to be smarter than him. And you don't always have to respond to people. And that's what I'm saying. The main one they complain about, which is Mays, everybody want to get the last word after he say something.
Yeah, it's that last
But
word
I want to
syndrome.
see, we can't see nothing because they canceled the damn meetings for next week. We found that out last week. We still haven't got an answer of why they canceled the meetings for next week, because they moved them to Tuesday because of Thanksgiving, and then hell, they canceled them. So now we gotta wait until what, the Monday after Thanksgiving. Hopefully they have a council meeting. And Flint, this is for Flint. I know it's not going to happen, but it ain't no way it should be an empty chair in that council chambers.
Ever.
Look what the hell didn't happen. The fire chief, Barton cared. That man said he was down in Arkansas somewhere, and he heard about the fire and what happened. He knew the father of the children, and he said he sat down, he ate, he fell asleep for 3 hours, got right back on the road to come back and see about his firefighters. Now that's a damn good leader. If I don't know what a good leader is,
right?
That's one right there.
Yeah.
And to be asked because of all of this, I can't understand why they let those two resign and retire or whatever they did. But Barton got fired. Somebody had to take the fall, and they let Chief Barton be the fall guy. Are you kidding me?
I mean, I guess everyone looks like they're not that high up when you're at the top. Looking at you, Mr. Neely.
Yeah. Well,
look,
and
that
then,
order to override.
Uh-huh.
And because what words? It's political suicide. Why is he looking at something like that. Like, I can't fire 2 white firefighters because it's election season and it's political suicide. You know, every white person I've spoke to, my family, my wife's coworkers, my wife's friends, every white person I spoke to said that they'd rather those 2 firefighters off the force so they feel comfortable and safe with the fire department showing up to their house knowing that someone's going to find them. And you think it's political suicide to fire them. No. You're cleaning up your fire department to make it more effective instead of having 2 bums. 2 guys just sitting there to collect a paycheck while wearing a fancy uniform and maybe getting some discounts online.
It was some more points that was brought out this morning that that we didn't see. He said something about they couldn't have ran they arms around because they said they went in the bathroom, looked in the bathtub, in the shower, seen what color the shower curtain. I mean, great details.
Mhm.
And Barton said, but when they got to the room that the children was in, Chief Barton said it was very sketchy details. We went in, we ran our hands around the walls, and we didn't find anything. And he was like, wait a minute.
You open the door, you're hitting a young man on the floor.
Well, now they saying it was a door, it was a room inside of a room. But what Chief Barton let out this morning, out of his own words, he said it was no door on that room. So if you followed your hands around that wall,
You find a gap.
you gonna be like, wait a minute, it's something out here. And then it was also an air conditioner in the window. We popped that out. I don't know how that, if it would activate more fire, more smoke, but it probably would have cleared out some smoke. Then the question was asked, well, when the second round of firefighters came, was it more smoke in the house or was just as much? And he said out of his own mouth, go watch the interview. He said, what does that say?
All the investigations that were put to the side until after the election. Yes, Miss Jamaica, got you.
Oh, he talked about that. Jamaica. He talked about that, and he said something about that's when he was talking about Councilman Murphy when he said he wanted to bring it up after the election, the investigation. So we're gonna see how that goes because I don't think Councilman Murphy's gonna say nothing.
Well, then I'm going to expect Miss Tanya, Miss Jerry, and Mr. Mays, because they actually listen, to bring it up at council for us. Because we all know that whenever the public is speaking to council, they're on their phones and they aren't listening. So I want their peers, when they have the floor, to sit there and speak for us. I mean, they're our representatives, right?
And my representative, but your auntie, she messed up too.
I don't live in her ward.
I'm just saying.
Miss Jerry, as
Y'all
my
gonna have. I
representative-
want to come to y'all Thanksgiving dinner. Don't put no nuts in the macaroni and cheese.
What? Hell no.
I'm just saying because
This
what
is
are
why
you
women aren't allowed in
and
my
Judy
kitchen.
gonna talk about? Because y'all on opposite sides of the tracks right now.
Honestly,
I don't understand what the
Judy-
hell she's doing down there. She started off okay, and I'm gonna say what I said again last night. Judy and Dennis Pfeiffer, I don't personally believe will get the finance chair position because they're not predictable enough for them. Sometimes they
rebel.
They'll flip and flop. So they gotta give it to either Quincy or Eva.
And giving it to Eva is the fastest way to get me to move out of the city. Like, if they want me to move, they'll do that, and then they'll tank their own finances because they're going to be sitting there going, all right, for the police department, we have a 96.3%. Eva, what the hell? This is not grading time again.
She do be grading their papers.
So, they can, if they want me out of the city, they can do that. That's fine. Just know that you're going to pay the price for it. Hell, she may not even show up.
Right.
I
I
mean,
want to see so much fix. Like we
Like our
haven't
water?
had our water. We got people still lining up for water on Mondays. I don't know where else they're giving them out at during the week. It's like everything we screamed about before the election
Mm-hmm.
is just like in the Bible says, it's coming to pass. Like it's coming. It's the truth is just showing.
Yeah.
Barton is they got rid of Barton.
And you predicted last night that Green's going to go next.
I predict last night the Green is
Well,
gonna
I
go
got a
next, and
question
they
for
gonna
y'all.
cover that up by saying, "Oh, well, he just had a 3-year contract." You watch what I tell you.
Why do you think they got rid of Barton?
Why they got rid of Barton? Because somebody had to take the fall.
Yeah, somebody
That is exactly
scapegoat.
Yeah.
Oh, it was your department. You are the fire chief. This happened. This terrible tragedy. Therefore, it is your fault.
Yeah.
They're trying to put all the blame on him because he's technically in charge. Except they're forgetting that there's a person above him in charge. And leadership is responsibility. So, as mayor,
But you notice
you should be saying,
he
I messed
don't
up.
have his hand shown.
Mm.
His hand always like this.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I heard correctly, Barton said when he was called to that meeting, it was Attorney Kim and Eddie. Who the hell is Eddie?
I don't know who it
I'm
is.
thinking Eddie from the Five Heartbeats. Eddie Smith, the HR director.
That's Ed and Eddie.
Ed and Eddie, I like that too.
But he said one more person.
He
Too.
said one more person was in
I
there.
can't think of the name.
I can't think
gotta
the other
go
name.
back.
If you guys can think about who was in there, that's right, John. John O'Snow said it. He was collateral damage.
Yeah.
But is he really collateral damage, or is this just like finna be a shitstorm that's finna explode?
I think
it's gonna be a
It's a
shitstorm
shitstorm.
that's about to explode.
And collateral damage, yes, because this is fallout from that. At the same time, this is targeted because he broke with the narrative. He decided to stand up for himself, protect his own credibility, and let people know this was not my call. And he laid that blame where it actually belongs, with the only person that can override him without even saying a name. And this was targeted. Hey,
Yeah.
I can't trust you to lie for me. Get the hell out of my offices.
Yeah. Again, for those of you that are just tuning in, it's pinned to the top of my page, Wyntis Hall, or go to Arthur Woodson's page. He did a wonderful interview, sit down interview with Chief Barton. And then I heard some more news stations at the end. I don't know if they were there at the beginning.
AC did one too. AC, he sat down with AC for a second.
He sat down with AC too afterwards.
AC keeps on top of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, he
but
sat down
I
with
like
AC.
I haven't seen AC, so I
No,
can't speak about that.
I was deep because but that's the point I'm trying to make. With him doing this with all the other stuff, like right now, it's like a cloud over his administration.
Oh yeah.
And I ain't talking about a good cloud. It's like it's a storm coming.
But
You see a tornado about to touch
He
down.
don't see that. He don't see it,
No.
and he never will see
He thinks that Flint is all sunshine, rainbows, and sparkles right now. And it isn't. Our water's coming out dirtier than the Flint River, because it's not just Flint River water anymore. That's in there. And now we're getting chunks of pipe with it. We've got no police. Hell, we just had 3 or 4 leave prior to the election to go work for the U of M.
Now, did you hear what Barton said? Barton said they signed a contract that somebody was going to have, 10 ambulances all the time.
Oh, Stat EMS.
Now, you was having a fit about that beforehand.
Look,
I remember
there's
you
2 or 3
spazzing out about that.
There are 2 or 3 coffee cups that may have lost their lives to my erratic and angry behavior when I read that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're supposed to have 10 ambulances, 3 on backup through a subcontractor, available at all times. Their goal is to have, I think, 90% of critical calls answered and have paramedics on scene in less than 8 minutes. And yet we are constantly in a critical status, meaning we've got like what?
He said they only
5?
had 15 employees, so that was kind of impossible for them to do.
And we're constantly at a critical status, which means that we have 5 ambulances or less ready to go for the entire city of Flint through this company and their subcontractor. Yeah. There is no one coming, because whatever injury you may have, either someone else has something equal to it and they're closer to these paramedics, or they are injured worse.
Yep,
so now you're gonna have to figure out your own way there. Who was it? I saw on Flint Politics.
Yeah.
You
gotta say reboot.
Reboot.
Flint Politics reboot.
Or maybe uncensored. I can't remember which one. Anyway,
say that one.
Okay.
Flint Politics reboot.
Reboot. Okay. Gentleman is doing a delivery service / he'll pick you up and take you places. He actually offers ambulance service,
Well, ain't that
or not ambulance, hospital service. Let's just hope he has towels in the back for as
And
many people
then-
get shot here.
like I said, this time around, every time you see me on my show, you will not hear me speak about anything unless it's my opinion. But I try to back up things with facts. The hospitals have to report
Mm-hmm.
when there are no ambulances available.
Yep.
Check with your local hospitals. It happens quite frequently.
Yes.
It happened last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It happens during the week. So this is what Chief Barton was talking about when he said they said they're gonna have all these ambulances available for us, 20 of them, but they only got 15 employees. Like he said, it's impossible. Oh, he talking today. He
So
talking.
Well,
here's the funny thing about
Wait,
this.
Mickey,
Oh,
guess
what's up, Mickey?
what's the Mr.
But what
Mickey?
I was trying to say, what about the local news? As far as Channel 12, where you used to work at?
Did you now? I don't know who that was, but at the local news today, but they were sitting down there by Art, and they asked a question that was so far removed from what the hell Chief Bart was talking about. It made me. They asked something just dumb like, what color was the house that the fire was in? I mean, it was just dumb.
I think
It's
they're
like-
just trying to discredit him. Like, oh, you didn't even see the house. How can you know anything about this type deal? Like, he's a fire chief. He's an administrative person. Yes, he knows the fire industry in and out, but he's there to administrate and to direct. I think it's just him saying, oh, well, you weren't there. How do you know?
But that saddens me about politics.
It was a character assassination.
That's what they are trying to do with Chief Barton. But that's what happens in politics. They don't care about you, your family, nothing around you. As long as it boosts them up, they will try to smash you down as hard as they can. And Chief Barton, that wasn't right.
No.
It wasn't right for them to do
He
that
was
to him.
an honest man that got caught by politics.
And he said it. Now he said it. He said, I can't tell you if they, about the black and white issue. He said, all I'm going to tell you about is the black and white that was on the paper. Now, he didn't actually say that. That's me saying that. And he said he stand by his report. They did not do their jobs. And
No.
I do believe if it was black firefighters and the white ones went in there and found them, Chief Barton still would have been saying the same
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
But I believe black people got fired though. I just threw that in for free.
No, the key thing was when he said suspended without pay,
Mm-hmm.
and that got override. It was suspended with pay.
Didn't he say he got a call? Because he was in Arkansas or something like that when he said suspend them without pay. And then that got quickly reversed.
Man, could you imagine being him on the road with that? Here's this horrible thing that happened. You know the children's father. Oh my God. Okay, I got to get up there. All right, suspend these two without pay. Something's fishy here. As he's on the road, oh, hey, we suspended him, but it's with pay. You were overridden. What the hell? Who the hell? Get up here. Do the investigation. Okay, these two failed at life. They need to be unemployed.
And then they hold the daddy.
Yeah.
They held the daddy, drew his blood, everything. You see people out on Facebook, well, where was the daddy? Where was the daddy? And I think Chief Barton spoke about a little bit about that this morning. I didn't watch the full interview,
Mm-hmm.
but he said something about 12 years old or something. He could be left at home
Yep.
alone.
It's not against the law.
It's not
No.
against the law. But the father was working out. He was simply running on the damn treadmill at the Y. The camera seen him. And he said he got phone calls about your house is on fire. So boom, he quit running.
And then he started running.
He started running to the house. And he said when he pulled up, they surrounded him. And he like, wait a minute, can you tell me about my babies? What's going on? They put him in the back of the police car. He's still hollering and screaming, where my babies? What is going on? Took and drew his blood like he was just nobody. It was hours before he got to the hospital to see his children.
Took his blood. What? Because he's acting erratic, he must be on drugs? If his children are in danger, he should be acting erratic.
Yeah.
I know if something like that happened with my kids, the cops would probably have to tase me.
Oh, okay. Miss Clemens said he don't know the daddy personally. Well, he just said
Still.
he knew of him or whatever. He said he knew of him. And thank you for tuning in, Miss Clemens. I know you watched that interview and it was just I just implore all of you to go and watch that interview.
So I've got two more things to bring up. One of them is
Go ahead.
rather quick and
This your
easy.
show.
Going back to the EMS.
Okay.
Stat EMS. Number one, that contract was signed by the mayor with no input from city council. Why? Because there's no money changing hands. City council are the purse holders, so if there's no money changing hands, they don't really get a vote on that. But if you drive down Court Street here, you will see Stat EMS billing and training headquarters, and you will see a giant ass Neely sign there.
What? Well, you probably would have.
Now it says Cynthia, but we all know that a sign for one is a sign for the other because they put their first names very small, the last name very large.
Mm-hmm.
A sign for one is a sign for the other.
So Stat EMS got the contract and also put the Neely sign.
Yeah, just
Okay.
drive down through here and you'll see it.
It's probably gone by now.
Nope, saw it last night. Come
Is
on
it?
now. And then, well, let's just do a quick recap on ballot 8.
Ballot 8. What's ballot 8?
Ballot 8 was assigned, given to a man who went to vote on election day.
Okay.
He didn't sign his name.
Was that in precinct 55?
Why, yes, I do believe it is.
Oh.
He didn't
Okay.
sign his name. He voted. He put it in the scanner, which I call a shredder because
He
it might as well
or
be.
she? Because do
Oh.
we know?
I usually go with the he, but yes, that is correct. They, this human.
Okay. This human.
And this election worker sees that there's an empty spot on that and goes, huh, that's wrong. Let me just there we go, there's a name.
Trevor Berryhill.
Or yeah. Put some random name on there, pull it out of thin air. The name has been searched and it isn't even someone registered to vote in Michigan. Strange enough there. But let's just take a look at the law provided here.
Well, let's take a look at it, Trevor. What does the law say?
A person who knowingly and willingly deprives, defrauds, or attempts to deprive or defraud residents of a state of a fair and impartially conducted election process by, we're going to skip A because it doesn't pertain here, but Part B, procurement, casting, or tabulation of ballots that are known by the person to be materially false, fictitious, or fraudulent under the state laws in which the election is held shall be fined in accordance with Title 18, which fines shall be paid to the general fund of the Treasury or miscellaneous receipts pursuant to Section 3302, Title 31, notwithstanding any other law, or imprisoned not more than 5 years or both. So one.
Ain't nobody going to prison.
Oh yeah, no, because we re-elected Nestle. She doesn't know how to send people to prison.
Time flood, dude.
I think that should just about do us today.
He said that.
Hold
Just
on,
about
before
do
you
it
end
today.
it, what you just read was fraud, right?
Fraud. Oh, let me see. Fraud and fictitious or fraudulent. Yes, it is. All three of those.
So if you could find, if that was one mistake, do you think it's other mistakes?
Yes.
You got to just
As-
wrote one name in.
As so many people, because I'm not going to say that there is voter fraud on a widespread basis here, because that'll get you in trouble with the face space dictators.
Yeah.
What I am going to say,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I'm not even going to say that. I'm going to say there were mistakes, and this lady, even though she said I just did what they told me to do, and I'm still waiting to know who the they is. So many people have come forth and said, oh, it's because these folks, these election workers are new and inexperienced. Well, with inexperience comes mistakes. This is just one that we found quick and easy. And I think with an actual audit, it's going to be, as Jon Snow said, but we're going to drop the excrement. We're going to say it's a snowball on the top of the hill, and it's going to get bigger the more you dig, the further downhill you go.
Well, she said like that. She was frustrated when she was in the room with Ari.
Just doing what they told me to do.
I try to fix something and something else. We find something else wrong.
No, because
I mean, how many fixes did she do? My God, woman, just shut up. Use your Fifth Amendment.
That's what I wanted to tell.
Yeah, because I'm just tripping off the 88% absentee ballots. I'm gonna leave it at that.
But we're just gonna say that
88%
Congress
turned
intervened and saved us from having wasted paper. That's because we don't want to get in trouble with the face.
Well,
Allegedly, 88%.
Allegedly. So listen, what I'm gonna say is factual, and then I'm gonna let Trevor close out. We got a lot more coming. We're not going away. Hey, shouts out to ATN News Media Group and the greatest producer in the world, Mickey Jordan. And tonight we'll be back with Satara. Satara will be on at 6:00. Who's our guest for the night?
No, I'm not for sure. I gotta call. I'm gonna call when we get done.
Okay, so Satara will be on here at 6:00 tonight.
Yep.
And then tomorrow morning at 8, we got Let's Talk About It with the little pastor Thrill Kill. And then at 9:30 we got Deacon Dumas with The Truth Shall Make You Free. And I know he's gonna talk about a whole lot of truth tomorrow.
Oh man.
And then at 11:00 we got a little special edition. We got Wyntis and Darius. We're gonna sit down and Darius captivates me with his speaking. So it's gonna be a lot of truth talking and telling tomorrow. Those with sensitive ears and don't want to hear the truth, I don't think you should tune in at 11. But it's gonna be a good show. So thank you, and Trevor, it's over to you.
But for my closing remarks today, as we said last night, so many people said, I can't wait until after the elections so these, ghetto podcast will just disappear.
You call me ghetto?
No, hell no. Do I look like Evil Worthing to you?
Woo! Shoot! Now, Trevor, you get more and more. I just like you more and more every day.
Woman's got more pounds. Anyway, no, we're not going away. We are here for accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And accountability doesn't just end after an election.
That's right.
I plan on being here as long as Mr. Mickey can tolerate my ass.
Right.
And hounding city council, hounding the administration, hounding anyone and everyone who I see making a mistake around the city, or at least doing things in a way that does not benefit the city but benefits themselves.
Right.
So keep tuning in week after week. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Go to the YouTube and boost numbers there.
Hit the Cash App. We need
Hit
that.
the Cash App. We need it. Y'all like what y'all see and the great content and the interviews and everything. Hit that Cash App button.
Cause y'all see how Neely's spending money to fight us.
I know he's spending all kinds of money. To
tell him help us build up our war chest so we can go back to war.
Right,
Shit,
so we can get us
he got the police, the judges.
Right.
And you know what? Mr. Mickey's
Justice.
already taken that first step to growing his platform. He got that, as you said, that recognition.
Instagram recognition. That was really big.
It's time for us to take that next step. Share this to everyone you know. Keep sharing it. Keep commenting it. Keep interacting with it, liking and commenting, because that tells all the algorithms that we are doing something right and that you approve of us.
Right. And I can't do a podcast without at least mentioning please justice for the Mitchell boys and also justice for Vontrice Davis.
Yes.
All right.